The IPO market has been hot with a lot of them coming up. We have Asana filing for IPO, which is a software company that provides a web to help teams organize, track, and manage their work. We have Snowflake, which is a cloud-based startup company. We have Epic Games rival called Unity. And lastly, we have Airbnb filing for IPO as well. Hello guys and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Airbnb IPO and why it's something that you cannot miss if and only if everything goes as planned. Please smash that like button and subscribe since it really helps my channel out. I would imagine that most, if not all of you already know that Airbnb is an online vacational rental marketplace that is available in 191 countries and has been a game changer for the travel industry, disrupting the hotel industry. They have not only changed the travel experience, but have also created a new source of income for households. The most impressive thing about this company is their brand loyalty and brand recognition. Normally, when you travel, you have two choices. One, a hotel, or two, rent a house. The thing is that with hotels, there are a lot of brands available. We have Marriott, Hyatt, Hilton, Four Seasons, and people will normally pick the best and most likely the cheapest option available. With Airbnb, it's different. When people go on a trip and want to stay in a house, they go directly to the Airbnb website and see what is available, even though there are other websites available such as Home2Go. In my opinion, Airbnb gives you more value with an experience that you do not get in a normal hotel, and also due to the pandemic, in my opinion, an Airbnb is the safest way to travel, since in a hotel you will be in contact with thousands of people that come and go within hours or days, while the Airbnb is more like being at your house but in another part of the world. Now, in September 2019, Airbnb actually announced that they were planning on going public in 2020. The thing is that the pandemic arrived, affected the whole industry and the whole economy, and they decided to move it forward since going public in such bad circumstances is not ideal for the company. But last Wednesday, they finally filed for IPO. I do have to say that this is still a private company and it is impossible to find their income statement, cash flows, or balance sheet until they go public, but obviously there is some kind of information that could help us see how the company is doing and if it could be a good investment or not. But if you would like me to do a video analyzing the company when they go public and provide more information, let me know in the comment section below. But first, and most important, is their revenue. According to Bloomberg, Airbnb's revenue decreased almost 70% in May in comparison to the same period last year, but began seeing signs of recovery in June with bookings down only 30%, and in July it raised already to last year levels. We do have to take into consideration that this is a huge improvement since, in my opinion, it was going to take maybe 1 or 2 or more years to go back to where it was, since most people do not feel comfortable traveling in these circumstances. But it is very good sign that they are almost at the same levels that they were last year. Now back to the revenue. As you can see, their revenue has been exponentially increasing year over year. Here we cannot see what their total revenue was for 2019, but if we add up all their quarterly revenue, we can see that they had a total revenue of $4.78 billion, which is an increase of 33% year over year. Yes, it is true, their revenue growth has actually slowed down, but it is still increasing at a rate of around 30%, and in my opinion, that is still very good. Even though I couldn't find their total net income or net loss for 2019, I was able to find their Q4 earnings, or in this case, losses. As you can see, they had a net loss of $276.4 million for the fourth quarter of 2019, which is a huge decrease of 92.3% year over year. According to this Bloomberg article, Airbnb had a profitable EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization in 2017 and 2018, which is very good for a disruptive, or as they call it, a unicorn company. But in the last quarter of 2019, they lost money due to spending heavily on marketing ahead of its public debut, which it is kind of normal to see companies spending a lot of money on marketing before going public, as they are just trying to grow their business and convince investors to buy their stock. Obviously, that is a strategy that might help in the future, but it does hit their profits in the present. Now, Airbnb had more than $2 billion in the bank at the end of the year. Still, in April, they announced that private equity firm Silver Lake and Sixth Street Partners will invest $1 billion in a combination of debt an equity that will support Airbnb's ongoing work to invest over the long term. Also, they had to lay off 25% of their workforce, or 1,900 employees, which shows once again that they got hit really hard and are looking for ways to reduce costs and raise capital, since their CEO, Brian Chesky, warned in May that their revenue was on track to tumble more than 50% this year. Now, we do not know what kind of valuation they are seeking for, but in 2017, Airbnb was valued at $34 billion, which, as you can see, has actually been increasing. The thing is that their valuation dropped quite a lot to $18 billion due to the pandemic. We still do not know what their valuation will be when they go public. I would assume that it would be around $18 billion. It could be lower if they are still getting hit really hard, or it could be higher if they were able to see a rebound in their business. Something we do have to take into consideration is regulations. Many governments are starting to regulate the industry to make it harder for people to make money with Airbnb. Some cities have laws that restrict your ability to host any type of short-term rental. In other cities, hosts have to register, get a permit, or obtain a license before being able to lease their property or accept any guests. Still, Airbnb is working with governments around the world to clarify these rules so that everyone has a clear understanding of what the laws are. Obviously, this is something we have to take into consideration, mainly because it can affect their business in the short term, but I'm not that concerned about this right now. Just wanted you to know that these problems exist. Now, after explaining all that, what do I think about the company? Why do I want to invest in Airbnb? First, Airbnb is a company that has been disrupting a huge and profitable industry for years now, and I do expect them to continue growing year over year. Second, their name has become a part of our language, which gives them a huge brand recognition and brand loyalty around the world. Also, something I like about this company is that they have captured younger generation. Mainly because of the comfort and experience they provide, we tend to prefer to rent an Airbnb than go to a hotel. That is from the renter's perspective. Now, from the host perspective, it is also an excellent experience. If you live in a 4-bedroom house but you only use 2 of them, you can lease the other 2 in Airbnb and lower your expenses. Or if you have a vacational house in another state or another country, but you only go there 3 times a year, you can just list it on Airbnb and just block the days or weeks that you are going to be there. The rest of the month, people are able to earn money with the house that was almost always vacant. Even though that I know that at some point I'm going to invest in this company, you guys need to take into consideration several things. First, the market is not favoring the travel industry right now, and that is definitely not helping Airbnb at all. Second, Airbnb is still in its growth phase, reinvesting a lot of money into their business. And third, you need to be very patient with an IPO, since the initial stages always involves a lot of volatility, and even more when it is a huge company like Airbnb. But let me tell you something, guys. If Airbnb goes public with a valuation of around $18 billion, it is huge buy for me, since I think that the company will be worth even more and will grow even more throughout the next years. Obviously, it would be a long-term investment for me, since the travel industry could take more time to go back to normal in comparison to other industries, but I'm willing to wait and overpass that possible volatility phase and hold the stock for the long term. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor, and you should do your due diligence before investing in any company or any of these IPOs. Hope you really enjoyed the video. Please smash that like button and subscribe, since it really helps my channel out. Also, if you haven't signed for WeBull yet, make sure to do so and claim your 2 free stocks after depositing $100. Or just get 1 free stock when you sign up with Robinhood for free. The links of both are down below in the description. Thank you, and see you next time. People do not feel comfortable traveling in these circumstances.